Maintaining your health is getting harder and harder every year. In today's video, we're going to go over why and what you can do to avoid it. I'm Dr. Jeff Cumro, and over the past 15 years, I've been blessed to work with thousands of people, helping them optimize their brain function, their body function, and the energy to supply those areas. So no matter what circumstances they face, they're able to pull the resources they need to make the decisions they need to get that goal that they want. So like I said, right now is one of the hardest times in the world to be healthy. And yes, we have some advantages. It is easier to find the foods that you need. It is easier to find different health products and stuff like that. We have gyms and whatnot that they may not have had 100 years ago. But the biggest thing is there are more and more stresses on the world than ever before. And this matters. Why does it matter? Ultimately your body can take so much before it leaks out into symptoms, disease, whatever you want to talk about. But if we look at, and this is going to be a terrible drawing, I can assure you that, because my artistry, not what it really needs to be. But I think you're going to get the gist of it. This is supposed to be a bucket here, and if you can imagine, you can see through this bucket. If you're exposed to chemicals at work, it puts a little bit of a load into your bucket, right? If you eat poorly, it puts a little bit more, a little bit more of a load into your bucket. If you start to sleep poorly, it puts a little bit more of a load into that bucket. If you have family stress, it starts to add up. And sooner or later, that bucket is pouring over the side, right? This is what's happening in most of us. We have that underlying stress, and it's from a variety of things. It's not one thing that's making us sick. It's a bunch of things that are making us sick. And if we don't ever work to empty that bucket, then sooner or later you're going to have an overflow and you're going to have diseases. And this is why we see so many adult diseases. But the problem is we're starting to see those adult diseases in kids. Why? Because we are passing our genetic expression on to our kids, right? And that includes our epigenetic expression of it. And that epigenetic is what is changed by all of this over here. As we start to get those stresses, it starts to turn on more of those disease genes and turn off more of those protective genes. We pass that on to our kids. Our kids are starting to see adult diseases when they're 10 years old, 5 years old in some cases. We're seeing more and more type 2 diabetes in kids than anybody would have ever predicted. It's really, really scary, and it's sad, in all honesty. So the big question is, what can you do to get out of all of this? And the answer is there are a few things. But the big thing is we have to empty that bucket. We have to start taking some of those stressors out. So some of you might start with improving your food, right? So eating better quality foods. Maybe that includes organic. Maybe it includes more whole foods. Maybe it looks more like a Mediterranean diet. Whatever that may be, it's taking out some of that processed food, getting better nutrition out of the foods that we're getting, right? Others may have to look, hydration is something that's really big that a lot of people don't know about. They don't know that they're dehydrated. They don't know that they don't have enough water in the system. Our body's an electrical system, right? So if we don't have any way to transmit that electricity throughout our body, then it doesn't matter how much energy you make. You can get really, really good nutrition, be dehydrated, and it doesn't have a good way of getting that elsewhere. So we have to have that hydration for the cellular processes to happen and to transmit that energy throughout the body. Getting adjusted, and I know some of you are going to roll your eyes at this, but ultimately what getting adjusted is going to do is decrease the stress on your system. When you get adjusted, what happens? We improve the system by the joints. So your body itself is improving. We're decreasing muscle tone to help that area react more the way that it is supposed to. We're improving motion of that joint. Those joints get their nutrition in through movement. They push their waste products out through movement. So if we don't have enough movement in there, it's difficult to maintain those. So it helps to slow down breakdown because those toxic. So ultimately, that waste product that is developed in there, that accumulates in there, if we don't have the movement to push that out, it's very inflammatory and it starts to break down the joint. The more important thing to all of this, as we start to adjust these areas that are not moving the way that they're supposed to, we increase function of the cortex. That includes prefrontal cortex, some of the parietal, temporal, and occipital lobes. Um, and ultimately, what that system is tasked with is decreasing the stress response. So that is how this occurs. I'm running out of room here. Yeah, you got what I'm saying. So this is what we're doing. We're decreasing stress with the adjustment. That's the important part of it, right? Some of you, your process is going to be improving sleep. Adjustment feeds into that as well. It's something that a lot of people will see improve sleep. Why? Decreased stress is going to improve sleep. As we have more and more stress, excuse me, I got a scratchy throat this morning. As we have more and more stress, it affects our sleep. We tend to wake up more frequently. We don't tend to get into those deep sleeps. And as we minimize that deep sleep, we don't recharge the way that we're supposed to, and it starts to compound on itself. That stress increases the stress, which increases the stress, which increases the stress. So it's a positive feedback system, something that reinforces itself. For others of you, what you may need to look at is exercise, right? Now, exercise is obviously going to be something that is important in a lot of ways, but all of these can be important. I mean, you could throw detoxification in here. There's a lot of them that are very, very important. But the coolest thing is adjustments are going to affect food. Why are they going to affect food? It affects digestion. If you turn down this stress, one of the things that happens as we stress out, our gut doesn't work as well. If our gut doesn't work as well, we don't break down fats the way that we're supposed to. Fats are like throwing a log on the fire. They're a long burning energy source. So if we don't have that, we lean more toward burning sugar. If you burn too much sugar, what do they call that? Diabetes, right? Am I saying that adjustments prevent diabetes? No, but it helps to optimize the system, right? Adjustments will help with sleep. Adjustments will help with exercise. So we get all of this other stuff out of the adjustment. How does it help with the exercise? If you move better, if you move more freely, if you move more the way that your body is supposed to, not only is it going to help your body function better, create less inflammation and all that stuff, it's also going to help your brain. Because as we move, that's what supplies our brain, not just the nutrition, which NASA has done studies that have shown that the movement of the spine actually feeds the brain, but it also gives us the information from those joints that helps our brain make the decisions that we need. Why is that important? If your brain has better information, you can pull the information or the resources that you need to get the goal that you want to get. So if you're in a learning situation, helps you learn better. If you're in a work situation, it helps you focus on doing the things you need to do there. If you're just sitting at home relaxing, trying to restore yourself, it allows you to actually relax, turn down that stress response, and do that. So the better we move, the better our brain function, and adjustments play directly into that. So I hope that this helps you. If you have questions, obviously reach out. I appreciate you taking the time to watch this. It means a lot to me. I know that that's your most valuable resource, and I appreciate it. So if this helps, please like or subscribe. Gives me good information as far as what I can share to give you the stuff that you need to take your health to that next level. So hope you have a great week, and I'll catch you on next week's video.